Todd Lewis joins us now from the Bahamas. T-Lew, so many of us are used to Tiger Woods being so focused on his game inside the ropes. What do you make of Tiger's outside influence and voice in terms of PGA Tour governance?
Well, I think it's not only an outside influence, but now it's an inside influence, because you heard Tiger say that when the June 6th framework agreement was announced, that he was surprised and then a bit frustrated. From the people that I have talked to that know Tiger Woods, those may be understatements as far as describing his emotions. He was very upset, and the fact that the players really had no input into this framework agreement whatsoever. And let's not forget, he is on the PGA Tour Policy Board because he wanted to be on the PGA Tour Policy Board. He presented that option to the tour, and they said, yes, come on board. And so now he has a huge voice in the game. And I've talked to people who have been in these policy board meetings with Tiger, and his presence is definitely felt. He is making sure that the players are taken care of moving forward in regards to this agreement that may or may not happen. That is still kind of up in the air right now, although Tiger today in this press conference behind me did say that he feels a bit optimistic that things can still come together. But, you know, there's still a lot of work to be done, and there are options now with private equity firms being put into the mix as well. So this was a very anticipated press conference from Tiger Woods, given he hasn't officially spoken at a press conference or spoken to the media since April. And there's a lot of stuff to cover, especially his involvement with the framework agreement and the PGA Tour and PIF, not to mention his body and competing once again. But I thought it was a very enlightening press conference from Tiger today.
Todd, we're piecemealing information as far as the progress of where the deal is and potentially what type of timetable it could adhere to going forward, if it'll be done by December 31st, if it'll extend, who will be the parties involved. Based on what you heard from Tiger Woods, what was your biggest takeaway on the deal status?
Like I said, that both parties, all parties involved, want this to happen, it sounds like, and they are working cordially, and there's no animosity between the groups. I think it's interesting that the PGA Tour wanted some other investors, private equity companies and groups, to come into this agreement with PIF, with the Saudis, because they didn't want to be solely in bed with PIF. And talking to those inside those policy board meetings right now, the Saudis are receptive to that. But you're right, December is this week, at the end of this week, and we're coming into a critical month, maybe one of the most critical months in the PGA Tour's history, and trying to put this agreement together from both sides, all sides, feel that it's beneficial to them moving forward. And the question is, can it happen by December the 31st? Will it be an extension, or will this just simply not happen? And if that's the case, then we are right back to where we were prior to June 6th, just no lawsuit.
This is a new chapter for Tiger Woods, on the verge of turning 48 at the end of next month. While he's dealing with PGA Tour governance, there are folks watching that are concerned only with what he does inside the ropes. From your eyeball, Todd, how did he look physically? How did he move? What was his kind of, physical state, as it were?
Well, he's always going to have some kind of, in my opinion, that what I have seen and what I think we'll see moving forward, and what I saw today, he's always going to have a little bit of maybe a limp. He's not going to be as fluid when he walks around. But when I talk to Tiger, when he comes back in regards to coming back from injuries, generally he says, I'm hitting it well. It's just my body. Do I have the endurance to go out and play 72 holes and then recover the night before to go out and play another round, and so on and so on. Today, he said that my body feels great, which is something you normally don't hear from him on a comeback. He's more interested to see where his game is from a competitive perspective. So I'm optimistic that he can come out here and compete well this week. And I'm not saying he's going to win, but a top 10 finish is a possibility. It sounds like from him and from the people that I've talked to in South Florida who's watched him practice and play a few holes as well. I thought it was very interesting for him to say that he feels like, and he was pretty optimistic in saying this, that he could play once a month in 2024. So if you look at that calendar next year, he could play the Genesis Invitational, which is his tournament, that happening in February. In March, play the Players, then play the 4 major championships. So it sounds like we could see Tiger 6 times next month, and that is a positive for the game of golf.